it's September 26th, and we are 4 weeks or so into school. It's been a great start to the school year. Very happy to be back. The kids look great, and we're off to a good start. So first, I wanted to open with a special thanks to Chris O'Keefe, who isn't here tonight, but Chris served on our board for many years. I had the distinct pleasure of serving with him on the development board and through many other had many other experiences with Chris over the last 2.5 years, and it's always been a pleasure. And so I want to thank him deeply for his service, and we will miss him greatly. And then the next is I want to welcome our new board members. So happy, well, we'll include Nick in this too, but so happy to have the three of you here. So Ben and Cindy and Sheila, thank you very much. We will have a wonderful time serving together over the next few years, so thank you. Let's see, we're going to look at some September highlights, some razzle-dazzle time. We're going to look at some SAT summary scores and try to look at some growth between the PSAT and the SAT for the class of 2020, and then we're going to look at a quick AP summary and a plan for moving forward with AP. All right, so September highlights. We have, as we've been talking about, new walkways up in the lower school and even in the front of the upper school building. We have, all right, so this is the upper school building. So there's a new sidewalk area here, and then there's new walkways. If you haven't had a chance, you're going to see a little 20-second video of the kids walking on those. They look super. Parents' Night was a great success. We had 3 separate parent nights with different grades coming up. I thought we had great turnouts. We hosted them here, we started them here. Mike was in this cafeteria and I was in the other one. Talked to the parents for about 10 minutes and then they got to walk through their students' schedules. I was very happy with the turnout for actually all 3 nights, so that was super. This is a new traffic pattern, so with the change in the schedule, which has gone very well, we were having some traffic issues coming into, so that you come in the front, you come up between the 2 buildings, and then if you're in the upper school, you're coming down this smaller area, and we used to drop off right here. So we have a new dean of students who was a part-time police officer once in his life, and he's got a lot of experience in these things, and he looked at this picture and he said, well, Ellen, why don't, instead of dropping the kids off here, and you can only drop maybe 2 at a time, why don't we bring them down here, so they're driving down here, and then now you can have probably 8 or more cars that can stop at one time, and then out they're going this way and back out again. And that has solved all the problems, and everyone's like, why didn't we do that 15 years ago? So that's been fantastic. Yeah, it was, and we talked to the parents. The PTO was Tuesday night, and they were all like, why did we do this forever ago? Well, we weren't thinking about it, and traditions, happen. So this is great. Fresh eyes take a look, and it changes everything. So on the new schedule update, we had the 7:55 start time. The traffic was starting to let them in about 7:23 in the morning. Which is about 8 minutes earlier than we did in the past. And everyone is leaving. In fact, the release is actually much better from what I'm hearing from Eric. It's about 10 minutes to get everyone off campus. Part of that has to do with the fact that people aren't leaving from work from over at Quest and the companies there. So really it's just competition of the 3 ways and not the 4th way, with people trying to leave work from the different corporations over there. The only feedback I heard during the PTO meeting on Tuesday evening was parents are still concerned about the 4-minute passing time as opposed to 5 minutes. What we're going to do to address that is we're going to do a survey mid-year in January. We'll do a teacher survey, and we're going to do a student survey to see how they feel about that 4-minute passing time. And then we have students off on the DC trip right now. If you take a look on Facebook and some things, Mike Finkel is putting up pictures of our wonderful kids down in DC. All right, some razzle-dazzle time. All right, so this is, Mike did a fantastic job. This full video, full 4 minutes, is on Facebook, but Mike, you can click that. This is just a few seconds of this, but Mike actually timed them. That's our bell. This is just 51 seconds of it. This is the hall in the lower school. Those are computer labs to the left. There's Mr. Noble. The kids. Blowing kisses, there we go. Now you'll notice these little cherubs over here on the left. The time is running out. We're at 3 minutes and 58 seconds. They're kind of still hanging out. Now eventually they go into that math class that's in the corner there, but they don't look pressed for time for me. Now mind you, this is, it's the lower school. But anyway, so I thought that was a fun video. And we're gonna hit the next one, Mike.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the new sidewalks. This was taken around the same time that Brianna, Mike, and I, and Andres were doing our welcome video. This is just a short little 15-second snippet. Look at those beautiful, that's 10 feet wide there on those walkways. It's one of the first days of school, they look so sticky. And those
walking off the edge of it.
well, the camera, they might have been, yeah. They've been really great. We were a little concerned that they'd start trying to cut through. I'm concerned about the cars and traffic and things, but they haven't. It's about 10 feet wide on the right side. Mike, you can go ahead over to the next one. And they're about 8 feet on the other side. And there's a nice big platform on the top. So it's great. Okay, so before you click enter on this, I wanted to highlight probably one of my favorite lessons of the year, and I didn't ask Jess's permission here, but everyone loves AP Macro, and one of the reasons is because what a great teacher Jess Bowen is, without doubt. But this is a project that she does, and you're going to see a smaller version. The longer version is on Facebook. Anders and I both went to this. We're sitting in the back there, and we had a blast with the kids. But this gives you an idea of the kind of teaching.
In the bag in front of you is a prize. Some of the prizes are awesome, and some of the prizes are very not awesome. You're going to write a number from 1 to 5. 1 is this prize is yuck, and 5 is this prize is awesome. I'm confused. In your marketplace, see if you can make some trades to get a better price than the one that you got.
What do you mean?
You can continue to trade.
Cups for anything.
I value this over the. That's nice, but I'll take my massager.
You can kind of get the sense of what to do, right? 1 to 5.
Oh no, yeah, sorry.
What number did you give it in the first round?
I gave it a 3, and then I started to like it more.
And then, so even though your prize didn't change, the information that you had related to the prize changed. And Natalia,
that you may not have thought it was your item was very valuable, but everyone else wanted it, so it adds more value.
Okay, when we have a free exchange of information and goods, we are better able to match people with prizes that they value.
There we go. Thank you, Miss Bowen. Beautiful job.
Some kid got a mason jar with my picture in it.
I wanted that. I thought I would put it in my office.
He didn't trade it.
What did he rate?
No, he didn't trade. I wasn't sure that he could. I saw him trying. I offered. I don't think he wanted. I got red, white, and blue flag socks, and I told the kids I wouldn't trade them because they were going to be Anders' Christmas present. But it was a great activity, and the kids really learned so much. And the little sticky notes, it was amazing just to watch that grow and the value, whether they traded and then it became more valuable to them, or whether they started looking at what their friends got and all of a sudden theirs was more valuable. So thank you, Jess.
Well, I have extra prizes. You could do the lesson at a board meeting if you need to.
There we go. Okay, Mike, next one. This is just some information, some SAT information just to think about as we're looking at the numbers, because it's difficult to see growth in SATs because students typically take them as 11th graders. They take them in January, March, May, or June, and then they can take them again in the fall of their senior year. So the information we're going to be looking at is the class of 2020, which is our senior class now. They took the SATs, as I said, through the winter and spring, January to June, and many of them will take them now. Some of them won't have taken them until the fall, but most of them will take them in the spring. Some opt for the ACT instead, or they do it along with that. Unfortunately, not able to get the ACT data. They're not. The data is not as readily available as College Board, but. So this is what we have. what we tried to do, I consulted with Roger a little bit about how we could look at this. He suggested taking a look at the PSAT and looking at growth between 9th and 11th. What I did, I added a little bit more information to that, and we're going to look at this class of 2020, the PSAT scores in 9th, 10th, and 11th, which they took a year ago, and then those that took the SAT. What I have is an 11th grade summary. Mike, can you bring me down one? Okay, so PSAT for 9, 10, 11, and then also the SAT for, it's for the entire year of the 11th grade, anyone who took it from last fall all the way through the spring. Next one. All right, so there is going to be a summary slide. You don't have to memorize this, but just gives you an idea. The PSAT 8-9 in the fall, it is not the same PSAT that the 10th graders take. So it's apples, but it's kind of Macintosh and Cortland, right? It's not apples and oranges necessarily, but you get an idea. And so the mean total score, so your English and your math together, is 1092. This is when this class, they were 9th graders. Mike, the 10th, next one. When they were 10th grade, the total mean score went up to 1190. Next one, Mike. When they were 11th graders, so this is 1 year ago, their mean score went up to 1237. So definitely improvement each year through that PSAT. And the one they took in 10th and 11th is basically the same. This is the SAT June 2019. This is a summary score between August of 2018 and July of 2019. And now once again, this is the SAT, it's a different test, but their mean score is up to 1275. Summary slide, the next one, Mike. And this is the summary, so you can take a look at the mean score here from 9th, 10th, 11th, and 11th as the SAT.
Can you go back 3 slides? Because on the 3rd slide back, it actually showed the mean for the state.
It did, some of the College Board has a way of changing the way that they report things, and some reports they use every year and some they change.
So here we're 1237 against the state is 1021, so.
Exactly, so this was from last fall, where they updated the reports just a little bit. Unfortunately, they took my favorite report and they stopped publishing it this year, which was a shame. I spent a lot of time trying to get that. But we do have this. Okay, so now those are the SAT scores. And now these are the AP scores. Now, if you are interested in, scores for particular tests, go back and look at your annual report. There's a report you all have access to that. But what we were looking for here, so our accountability goal was a 90% of our students would have scores of 3 or plus. We hit it at 89%, so just a little below the goal of 90. You can see that over the last 5 years, it was 90% in 2015, 2016, it was down to 86, 85 in 2017. We had a bumper crop last year of 92%. It's just a little issue they've got there. And then this year, we were at 89%. Once again, you can take a look at your annual report if you're looking for a particular score on grades, on particular subjects. If you take a look here, this is the total number of AP students that we've had since 2015, so 293, 291, 226, 211, and 255. So that's showing some increase in our access to AP, which is awesome. And this is interesting too. So now remember that this is the year we had the bumper class, right? We had the bubble class down here. Number of exams, 554, 584, 368, 352, bumped back up to 490 this year, which is amazing when you're talking about the number of students and what a big jump. And our number of students with 3+ was 227 this year, with an 89%. And those reports are straight off the College Board website that we have access to. All right, so when we start looking now at Massachusetts and global, and this is kind of a summary, so AMSA, as I said, was 89% of our students had scores of 3 and above. And then in Massachusetts, it's 76.6. AMSA is still 12.4% higher in our number of students scoring 3+. And global, it's 67%. And AMSA is 22% higher than that. And this is just directly related to the tests that we administered, and then we took the number from Massachusetts just on it's actually 21 separate tests that we actually do, because physics is broken up into a couple tests, and AP Art is actually broken up into 3 or 4. So although we had 17 AP classes, there's the score, and then there's calculus, is 2 calculus. So it's 21 scores, actually. Okay, so how, we are very, very happy with most of our AP scores, not all of them, most of them. And we've been spending a lot of time, Anders and I spent a lot of time talking, and once those scores came out in July, of, okay, what can we do? How can we help to continue to not only boost our scores, scores are important, but it's to improve the teaching that's happening in the AP classes. Not all of them, but some of them have been stagnant in the scores over a number of years. So we want to be able to support those teachers in giving them kind of tricks of the trade. And honestly, we have so many fantastic AP teachers in the school who have been teaching this for years and years. And we also have some new teachers. And there are definitely best practices that go along with teaching AP classes. And so it's more than just the content. And that's what this Baker's Dozen is about. This is a document that, as you can tell, those of you who know Anders recognize the top of this document. It is in your packet. And then he drafted this up, we worked on it, and then he brought to the department chairs, who also had all of their input on it. I know that he consulted with several of our top AP teachers, and they had input on that too. Then it was given to the department chairs, who brought it to all their AP teachers, sat down and had discussions about it to talk about suggestions that they can take off of that document to improve the success in their AP classes. And I think that that's going to be, I'm hoping, a real boost for us. And our department chairs will continue to work with the teachers. Many of them who hadn't necessarily been to the training, the official College Board training, have now gone. And so we're expecting and hoping to see some real movement this year. I'm very excited about it. So you can take a look at that, see what you think. And then ending with, you gotta love Tom Brady, and we have started out with a great season, and so excited. So go Pats.